This is not just another poll update. This is a political earthquake in the making. The latest Florida governor primary polling average is out, and the numbers reveal something much bigger than just percentages. Let's break this down carefully, because what's happening in Florida right now could reshape the 2026 political map. First, the Democrats. Right now, David Jolly is leading the Democratic primary with 22.6%. But here's what makes this interesting. Jerry Demings is right behind him at 19.2%. That's just a narrow gap. This is not dominance. This is competition. And then we see Angie Nixon at 5.7%. Now let's analyze what this means. Jolly is ahead, but he's not even close to 30%. That suggests Democratic voters are still divided. Demings is within striking distance. If he gains even 3 to 4 points, this becomes a statistical tie. And here's the bigger question. Are undecided voters waiting to see who becomes the strongest alternative? Because when two candidates are this close, momentum matters more than early leads. If Demings builds establishment support, fundraising strength, and name recognition statewide, this race could flip quickly. But if Jolly expands beyond 25%, that could create psychological momentum. And in primaries, perception often becomes reality. Right now, the Democratic primary is competitive, but not explosive. Yet. Now let's shift to the Republicans, and this is where the numbers get intense. Byron Donalds is sitting at 38.9%. That is a commanding lead. He's nearly at 40%. In a crowded primary field, that's not just strong, that's dominant positioning. But don't count this race as finished, because Casey DeSantis is polling at 25.7%. That is a serious number. She's not an afterthought, she's not a fringe candidate, she's firmly in second place, and within potential consolidation distance. Now here's the math that should get everyone's attention. If you combine the support of all other Republican candidates, James Fishback, 8.3%, Jay Collins, 7.2%, Jimmy Petronis, 4.2%, Paul Renner, 3.3%, Charles Burkett, 3%. That's over 25% of the vote sitting outside the top two. That is huge, because in primaries, consolidation changes everything. If even half of those voters eventually move toward Casey DeSantis, this becomes a neck-and-neck battle. But if those voters lean toward Byron Donalds, he could break 45%, and at that point, it becomes extremely difficult to stop his momentum. Right now, Donalds looks like the frontrunner, but Casey DeSantis represents the institutional continuity wing, especially considering the DeSantis political brand in Florida. The question becomes, is Republican primary voters' energy aligned more with Donald's style and national visibility, or with the DeSantis political legacy inside Florida? This isn't just about numbers, it's about coalition building. Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Florida has shifted Republican in recent election cycles. That means whoever wins the GOP primary could enter the general election with structural advantages. But here's the twist. The Democratic primary is competitive, not settled. The Republican primary is crowded, not finalized. And when primaries get intense, candidates often move toward their base. That can reshape the general election landscape entirely. Imagine this matchup, Byron Donalds versus David Jolly. That becomes a high-energy ideological clash. Or imagine Casey DeSantis versus Jerry Demings. That's a very different tone, different messaging, different voter appeal. Each scenario tells a different political story for Florida. Now here's the shocking takeaway. Byron Donalds is leading strongly, but not overwhelmingly. David Jolly is leading, but not securely. Both parties are still in consolidation phase, and that means volatility. And volatility means opportunity. The next round of polling will be critical. Fundraising reports will matter. Endorsements will matter. Debates will matter. Because at this stage, momentum can shift in weeks, not months. So here's the big question for you. Does Byron Donalds expand past 40% and lock this down early? Or does Casey DeSantis slowly close the gap as the field narrows? And on the Democratic side, will David Jolly grow his lead, or is Jerry Demings about to surge? Florida is not quiet. Florida is not settled. Florida is in motion, and when Florida moves, national politics pays attention. This is Shocking Election Poll, where we don't just read numbers, we decode them. Comment your prediction below. Who wins the Florida governor primary, and who wins the general election? Stay informed, stay ahead.